Everyone thinks Wolverine's power is in his claws. But what if I told you he's actually stronger without them? In one of the most savage moments in Marvel history, Magneto ripped the adamantium straight from Wolverine's body, literally tore the metal from his bones. Fans thought that was the end of Logan. No claws, no armor, no way he survives, right? Wrong. Without the metal weighing him down, Wolverine's body evolved. His healing factor didn't just get better, it became insane. We're talking about surviving gunshots, regenerating from near vaporization, and pushing through pain that would drop the Hulk. And here's where it gets wild. Without the adamantium, Logan became more animal than man. His senses sharpened, his speed increased. He stopped fighting like a soldier and started fighting like a beast. He went full berserker, unpredictable, primal, relentless. There's even a moment where he tanks a direct hit from Omega Red and keeps going like it was nothing. No metal, no claws, just pure rage, muscle, and instinct. And get this, he doesn't just survive. He becomes a bigger threat than ever. Because now, you can't track him with magnetism. You can't slow him down with pain. And you definitely can't predict him. Wolverine without adamantium isn't weaker. He's unleashed. So next time someone tells you Logan's claws are his greatest weapon, tell them the truth. Wolverine's real power is what happens when you take them away. Like, follow and save this, because most fans have no idea about this version of Wolverine. Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Black Cat, Doctor Strange, and Kingpin all at one poker table. Sounds like the setup to a bad joke until $300,000 hits the table. It starts off fun, heroes betting for charity, but then Kingpin shows up uninvited, drops a suitcase full of cash, and says, "Let's make this interesting." Now it's no longer about charity, it's about ego. Doctor Strange plays like a rookie. Thing bulldozes through rounds. Black Cat flirts and bluffs. Reed Richards folds on a full house. Meanwhile, Spider-Man cracks jokes with a poker face tighter than his mask. Then comes the final showdown, just him and Kingpin. The room goes silent. Fisk lays down a full house. Queens over nines. He laughs in Spidey's face. "You lose." But Peter calmly flips his hand. 4 nines. Read 'em and weep, fatso. The table erupts. Fisk storms out. And Spidey, he yoinks the entire pot with one hand and a smirk. Everyone thinks the Hulk is unstoppable. But what if I told you a woman once made him calm down and make her a sandwich? Meet Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. And she doesn't just have strength and agility. She has something else. A secret weapon, pheromones, which allows her to manipulate emotions, fear, attraction, and rage. And yes, one time she actually used her pheromones to calm the Hulk down and convince him to make her a sandwich. And that's not a joke, that really happened in the comics. This rage monster turned into a full chef, all because of her pheromones. So in a world where strength normally rules, control is even more powerful. And she didn't even throw a single punch. You won't believe what Batman did with this suit. It isn't just armor. It's a weaponized masterpiece that borrows some of the Justice League's most powerful tech. Built in secret after Bruce's return from being dead, the Insider suit is Batman's most deadliest invention. It flies, it punches like Superman, turns invisible, and even mimics Green Lantern's constructs. But there's a twist. Every time Bruce uses it, he's burning through his body, physically and mentally. And the suit takes a toll on him that even he can't ignore. And the League warned him, but Batman, he always has one rule. If Gotham's in danger, you carry the burden. And when the city was in a moment of chaos, he activated it. And for 72 hours straight, he didn't sleep, he didn't stop, and he didn't blink. And the suit saved Gotham. Power like this comes at a cost, and even Batman might not survive. This isn't just Iron Man's darkest suit. It's his most disgusting. Flesh, metal, and madness all in one. After Tony finds the Darkhold, Marvel's book of forbidden magic, and thinks he can use it to upgrade his suit, which in turn was a huge mistake. And he ends up cursed, his armor fused with his flesh, and he becomes part machine and part monster. And it gets worse. He abducts Happy Hogan and Jarvis and fuses them into the armor. Their bodies mutilated and minds broken. The result? A living Iron Man suit powered by pain. And it's not heroic. It's horrifying. Is this the worst thing that Tony's ever done? Or a warning of what unchecked power can do? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And subscribe if you love Iron Man. It changed everything. In a world where Peter never sold his marriage to Mephisto, he's living the dream with MJ, their daughter, and finally has peace. Until Venom returns. One day during a call with MJ, she suddenly goes silent, and Peter races home, crashing through the window, only to find Eddie holding his family. Peter loses it and fights like never before, but Venom escapes and goes straight for MJ and their daughter, and the building catches on fire. And with no choice, Peter pulls down the last support beam, burying Eddie, leaving him for dead underneath the rubble. As he turns to MJ and says, "I did what I needed to do." And after that day, Peter took off the mask, not because he's weak, because he found something more important to protect. Would you make the same call? Let me know in the comments down below. Ben finds the Venom symbiote, and it gives him his human body back. He says he feels fantastic, and for once, he's not a monster. Reed warns him it's dangerous, but Ben doesn't care. He finally feels like himself again. And while Ben is walking down the street, the Lizard appears, who pretends to relate to Ben, saying the symbiote could help both of them, as after all, they're both monsters trying to do good. But this is a trap. The Lizard steals the symbiote and mutates into a monster, and he slaughters Sue Storm, then Reed, and Ben is too late, as the Lizard stretches his neck and bites off Reed's head, and he watches them both die. Ben snaps. As he fights the Lizard and falls to his death, the symbiote slowly transfers to him, bonding completely to him by the time they hit the ground, leaving the Lizard dead on arrival. And then afterwards, Ben picks up the Lizard and crushes his head in his hand. Was this the darkest day for Ben Grimm? You decide, and let me know in the comments down below. Marvel has mutants with insane powers. Some of them useful, some of them not so useful. Some of them hilarious, and some of them just insane. Here are the most weirdly useful Marvel mutant heroes. Number 1, DJ. This dude's power changes based on the music that he's listening to. Metal gives him super strength. Pop gives him flight. But you lose the playlist and you lose the power. Meaning if his phone dies or if his headphones fall off, all of his powers go away. And then there's Gin Genie, whose powers grow the drunker she gets. And her shockwaves are stronger than an earthquake. The downside? She can barely stand up straight after a couple shots. So she's not really reliable, but is super powerful. And finally, there's the Master Pandemonium, whose arms and legs disattach and form full demon that he has complete and total control of. Oh, and his body also houses infinite amounts of demons. If you had to take one home and cuddle him for the rest of the evening, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments down below. Comics have had some wild crossovers over the years. Here are 3 that are straight up fever dreams. Number 3, Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders teams up with the Green Lantern in order to deliver KFC's Zinger sandwich across the galaxy. And yes, he even wields a lantern ring. Number 2, Charles Barkley, who grows to the size of Godzilla and plays one-on-one against the Kaiju King. and it's truly glorious. In number 1 is Eminem. Eminem fights the Punisher till they're both kidnapped by Barracuda, tossed in a frozen lake, and Eminem grabs a chainsaw and saves the day. What's the strangest comic book crossover that you know? Let me know in the comments down below. He's got spider powers, Wolverine's rage, and no name. They call him Weapon 8, but he just wants to know who he really is. After Wolverine escapes the Weapon X program, the agency sends their top asset after him, Weapon 8, in order to bring him back. When Logan resists, Weapon 8 torches him from the inside out with napalm. Back at the base, Weapon 8 asks what his name is, and Flash Thompson refuses to give him his name, saying that it only makes weapons weak. But this faceless spider can't shake the question, who am I? He's then sent to kill Captain America. They clash brutally, but mid-fight, 8 stops trying and is screaming, "Say my name," to Flash Thompson. His Cap headbutts him, and 8 still won't stop asking. And Flash finally cracks, saying, "Your name is Peter," and something clicks, and Peter's back, and impales Steve in the head without hesitation. And later that night, he etches the name Peter into his own name tag, and he is no longer Weapon 8, just Peter. Kingpin puts a hit on Spider-Man, and as the sniper loads his scope and has Peter in his sights, he hits Aunt May instead. And what Peter did next, Brutal doesn't even begin to cover it. After saving MJ, Peter rushes to Aunt May, who at this point is bleeding out. In turn, he tosses a jeep at the hitman and rushes Aunt May to the hospital. But the damage is already done, and he puts on the black suit, not for justice, but for vengeance. He knows Wilson Fisk is in the prison, so what does he do? He hacks the prison, opens up every cell, and walks straight in to face Kingpin. Kingpin mocks Peter, laughing at his grief. But Peter doesn't even speak. He just hits hard, again and again, till Fisk can't take it anymore. And this is when Peter removes his mask, saying that he's not here as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker. And Peter Parker doesn't have rules. He threatens to fill Fisk's lungs with web fluid until he suffocates, but stops at the last moment. Why? Because death is mercy, and Fisk doesn't deserve mercy. In front of the entire prison, Peter slaps Fisk senseless and says, "If May dies, Fisk dies," and leaves him broken, battered, and beaten as he crawls back into his cell. Mark Grayson crashes into a battle between Spider-Man and Doc Ock, apologizes, then yeets Otto through a building. With cops showing up, Mark grabs Peter and dips to a nearby rooftop. But Peter's not impressed. He warns Invincible that he may have just killed somebody. Mark breaks down and explains Angstrom is forcing him to multiverse jump through dimensions while holding his family hostage. Peter reveals his own family's loss, and they finally bond. And this is when they go to swing by the Avengers Tower, where Mark hilariously tries to guess each one of the Avengers' names. Starting with MJ, he thinks that she has powers and she is a super-powered redhead. And then he calls Iron Man Robot Man and Luke Cage Black Man. After this interaction, they go to track down Otto, and Mark loses it and rips off all of Otto's arms. He sees a portal and he says goodbye. As Spidey tries to follow him, his web snaps. Team 7 just linked up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they're about to take on Shredder in this most insane comic book team up ever. While Team 7 and the Turtles were out getting some pizza, Shredder raided their hideout and kidnapped April and Splinter. And this sends both squads into go time as they storm into the Foot Clan HQ, where we get some of the best fan service team ups of all time. Sakura and Raphael team up to do the Cherry Blossom Shell Smash. Kakashi and Leonardo hit the Lightning Katana. And Sasuke and Donatello hit the Shuriken Staff. And the MVPs of this group, Naruto and Mikey, hit the Uzu Mikey Angelo Barrage. But then Shredder goes full monster mode, dousing himself in ooze and mutating into a beast. And the stakes skyrocket. But now all this series needs is Naruto losing control of the Nine Tails and the Turtles freaking out. Because you know it's coming. It's gotta be. Let me know in the comments what your favorite crossover comic series is of all time. And as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful. One of the saddest moments in Marvel history has to be Ben Grimm's silent breakdown after the death of Johnny Storm. After Johnny sacrifices himself in the Negative Zone, the Fantastic Four all grieve in their own unique way. Sue locks herself in a force field. Reed Richards tries to fix everything and see if Johnny's still alive. But Ben suffers in silence, not saying a single word until day 26. And on day 26, both Hulk and Thor show up. Truly the only two people that can understand how to best help Ben. Not with words, but with fists. And they let Ben unload everything. Every ounce of pain, rage, and heartbreak that's been bottled up. And Ben clobbers them, punch for punch, blow for blow, until there's nothing but tears left. And this entire issue is almost completely silent. Just raw, emotional storytelling. No monologues, no speeches, just pain and lost in the weight of grief. And when the silence does break, it's Spider-Man who does this, who's talking to little Franklin Richards about the death of his Uncle Ben, explaining grief, pain, and family. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. What if I told you Spider-Man single-handedly humiliated the Avengers and took down the super secret villain in one move? It starts with the Avengers hunting down Spider-Man. Cap claims that Spider-Man's being manipulated, but Peter thinks they are. And the real enemy is the Grand Manipulator. Spidey's holding a device that resets mind, and he's planning to hand it to the professor to keep it safe. But first, he has to hold the line, in which he short-circuits Iron Man's suit, silences Captain Marvel with a web bomb, then fights Cap, Black Panther, and Blade, snaring them in webs like puppets. They finally catch him, only to find out that it was all a distraction. And the real device was already with the professor, who turns out to be the Grand Manipulator. But Spider-Man saw this coming, and he reprogrammed the device to stop the manipulator before anyone else even figured it out. Did Spidey just prove that he's smarter than all of the Avengers? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments down below. You think the Hulk is just big and green? Actually, there are 7 different Hulk colors that all have unique powers and abilities. And of course, we'll start with Green Hulk, born from gamma rays and our classic version of Hulk. Next up is Red Hulk, who you all met in Brave New World. Fueled with cosmic rays and gamma, he burns red hot and plays by nobody's rules. And then there's Grey Hulk, aka Joe Fix-It, the original Hulk, with a brain and a temper, like a mob boss in muscle form. And Blue Hulks do exist. This is what happens when Thor's lightning is combined with gamma radiation, turning his skin an electrifying blue color. Next is Brown Hulk, or Devil Hulk, who's born inside Hulk's mind, from the deepest, darkest corners of it. Imagine the Hulk, but even meaner and emotionally charged. Next on our list is Orange Hulk, also referred to as Solar Hulk, who was lab-made and powered by the frickin' sun. And last but not least is Black Hulk, a terrifying fusion of Hulk's body possessed by a very dark sorcerer. Let me know which Hulk is your favorite in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button because we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by July. And as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful. Daredevil can handle Kingpin, Bullseye, and even the Hand. But there's one villain who terrifies him, and it's not who you think it is. If you've been paying attention to Daredevil Born Again, you might have recently met the Muse. Let's take you behind the scenes of why he is one of the most dangerous comic book villains to date. This deranged artist is obsessed with turning murder into art. He once painted an entire mural using the blood of 100 missing people, and then vandalized his own work. His new masterpiece Sick humans turning into props, posed like mannequins doing everyday things. And the media called him Vincent Van Gogh. But the Muse hates that name. Muse isn't just twisted, he's terrifying. He absorbs perception like a black hole, and even Daredevil's heightened senses struggled to detect him. He even kidnapped Blind Spot and blinded him. And then when Daredevil tried to stop him, Muse broke his own fingers, saying it's what Daredevil would have wanted. And that's how far gone he is. So what do you guys think about the Muse? Is he as disturbing as people think he is? Or is he just a deranged man that likes to justify murder with art? You be the judge, and let me know in the comments down below. Eddie Brock is no longer bonded with Venom. In fact, he has a new friend, and that new friend is Carnage. After a brutal fight, both Eddie and Carnage were fatally wounded. Their only option to survive? Merge. But Carnage isn't like Venom. He doesn't just kill killers. He wants to rip apart everybody. Their first target? The Hopscotch Killer. Eddie tracks him to a commercial flight, but has no clue who it is. So he lets Carnage jam his tendrils into everybody's brain to figure out who the killer was. Turns out, it's one of the pilots. Eddie storms into the cockpit, but chaos breaks out as an air marshal fires at him. And the killer used this moment to murder his co-pilot and sabotage the plane. Eddie then rips the killer apart, piece by piece. But when he tries to save the passengers, Carnage is disgusted, and he takes full control over Eddie's body. And when Eddie wakes up, the passengers are gone. When Eddie goes to confront Carnage, he refuses to say what happened. Instead, he reveals his next move, targeting powerful beings like the Silver Surfer and Hela to be his next host. Carnage with cosmic powers? Who could stop him? Let me know which host you think would be the most terrifying for Carnage to bond with. And as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful. So Thor has an evil twin, and he just murdered Loki. Wait. Let's rewind. Thor needed a break, being the king of Asgard and being haunted by these nightmares of Thanos showing up with Mjolnir embedded with Infinity Stones. He handed control off to Donald Blake, who was a human identity that Odin created inside of Thor to teach him what it was like to be human, so he would understand the humans that he was protecting. But normally this would cause Thor to go into the Elder Sleep, where he could consult past kings. But this time, he woke up in a dead world, Donald's world, and it was filled with bodies and darkness. Meanwhile, in the real world, Donald Blake returned, but not in the way that you remember him. Dressed in dragon armor, he stabs Loki in the neck, breaks his arm, and then snaps the cane that connects him and Thor together, in which he says, "I am not Thor, and I'll never be a god's refugee again." Is this the birth of Thor's most dangerous enemy? One from within? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. This Spider-Man is more powerful than Null. What if I told you Peter Parker didn't just keep the symbiote? He became the King in Black and wiped out the entire universe. This isn't your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This version fully merged with the symbiote, surpassed Null, and began conquering the cosmos. World by world, his web stretched through the void. He wasn't just powerful, he was the power, the ruler of an empty universe where only a handful had survived, and they were assembled to stop him. The Avengers? No, something much darker. A last chance resistance made by his former friends. They tried, every last one of them. But like every other being before him, they fell, conquered, and slaughtered. The King in Black Spider-Man stood alone, unmatched and unstoppable. Is there any character you think that could take down the King in Black Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the worst Ant-Man variant in Marvel history. Eric O'Grady. Not a hero, not even a decent person, just a full-time creep with a stolen suit. This guy was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent until he borrowed the Ant-Man suit when Hydra attacked. And guess what? His little getaway got his best friend and his entire squadron killed. And what did he do next? Use his powers for justice? No. Man just went full-on creep mode. He used his new suit to spy on women, Bro snuck into their houses, hid in their purses, and even watched Captain Marvel in secret. What a creep. And just when he thought it couldn't get worse, he then seduced his dead best friend's wife as she was grieving. Absolute bottom tier behavior. Easily one of Marvel's most disgusting characters. No powers, no morals, just straight up trash. Spider-Verse just got way crazier. We've got a cosmic battle, a multiversal death, and new spider heroes stepping up in ways we've never seen before. This is Web of the Spider-Verse New Blood. Let's jump into it. At the heart of the multiverse, there's the great web of life and destiny. This is the thing that connects all spider people together. You've seen this in Across the Spider-Verse, and it's usually guarded by classic heroes like Peter Parker, Spider-Ham, and even Weapon A. But now the web has foreseen an unstoppable war coming. But instead of a fight to the death, a cosmic entity known as the Web Heart is negotiating a game to determine the fate of every spider in existence. And to represent the Spider-Verse, Webheart selects 6 champions, each representing a different kind of spider person. We've got a leader, a wild card, a revolutionary, a weapon, an artist, and an orphan. But the final spot is up for grabs. And that's when we meet Spider-Hulk. And yes, you heard that right. Peter Parker got exposed to gamma radiation and became a raging spider monster. Now imagine Spider-Man with Hulk strength, but none of the self-control. This dude obliterates the Green Goblin, smashes Doc Ock, and even terrifies Mary Jane. But here's the thing, the Web Heart hesitates because Spider-Hulk might be too powerful to control, and that means he might not be the one they're looking for. So the Web Heart keeps looking, and he finds something even wilder. A universe where Mary Jane is a Van Helsing-style vampire hunter. And the big twist, her target is Count Parker, a version of Peter that became a vampire trying to save Uncle Ben. And MJ, she's cold-blooded, no mercy. But when she finally faces Count Parker, she hesitates. And in this moment, she gets turned too. And now both of them are part of the Great Web selection. So who will be the final spider chosen for this cosmic battle? And what does this great game actually mean for the Spider-Verse? Let me know your theories in the comments down below, and hit like for more wild Marvel moments, and make sure you subscribe for more deep dives. Spider-Man is desperately rushing a wounded boy to the emergency room, and this kid is in critical condition. And Peter's doing everything he can to get him there in time. But after a long, painful night, Peter is left haunted. Did he do enough? Could he have gone faster? Could he have saved him? Peter visits the hospital, hoping for good news, but instead he overhears something crushing. The boy's parents are blaming Spider-Man for what happened, and they believe that it was his fault that their son is hurt. And for Peter, this guilt cuts deeper than any villain could ever do. But then, something unexpected happens. The boy, Tommy, asks for a private visit, and he knows Peter is Spider-Man. And with his last moments, he confronts Peter and tells him that it's not his fault. And just like that, the boy fades away, and Peter is left shattered. At the funeral, Peter meets his parents again, but instead of anger, they give him an envelope. And inside are comic books written by their son. Stories about Spider-Man, his hero, titled, What Would Spider-Man Do? For the first time in a long time, Peter feels hope again. Spider-Man has saved countless lives, but this moment, it reminds us why he does it. Because being a hero isn't about winning. It's about never giving up. Gather around and grab your tissues, because this might be one of the saddest Spider-Man stories of all time. And this one's not about fighting villains or saving the world. It's about guilt, grief, and hope. And trust me, this one hurts. Spider-Man is desperately rushing a wounded boy to the emergency room, and this kid is in critical condition. And Peter's doing everything he can to get him there in time. But after a long, painful night, Peter is left haunted. Did he do enough? Could he have gone faster? Could he have saved him? Peter visits the hospital, hoping for good news, but instead he overhears something crushing. The boy's parents are blaming Spider-Man for what happened, and they believe that it was his fault that their son is hurt. And for Peter, this guilt cuts deeper than any villain could ever do. But then, something unexpected happens. The boy, Tommy, asks for a private visit, and he knows Peter is Spider-Man. And with his last moments, he confronts Peter and tells him that it's not his fault. And just like that, the boy fades away, and Peter is left shattered. At the funeral, Peter meets his parents again, But instead of anger, they give him an envelope. And inside are comic books written by their son. Stories about Spider-Man, his hero, titled What Would Spider-Man Do? For the first time in a long time, Peter feels hope again. Spider-Man has saved countless lives, but this moment, it reminds us why he does it. Because being a hero isn't about winning, it's about never giving up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and hit like for more emotional Marvel moments, and subscribe for more deep dives. It all starts with a high-speed chase, and Batman is in full beast mode, hunting down the Joker in the streets of Gotham. But this isn't our usual game of cat and mouse between the Joker and Batman. Batman is pissed, and when he finally corners Joker in a warehouse, this time it gets ugly, and the Joker taunts him, saying that we're a team, and that Gotham needs both of them. Batman, he's done playing games though, and he starts beating the Joker within an inch of his life. But here is where everything gets a little more interesting. This entire incident is caught on camera, and Gotham is watching. And right before Batman delivers the fatal blow, Joker pulls out a bottle of pills and says that I'll fix Gotham. And Batman forcefully shoves the bottle of pills down Joker's throat. And these pills end up curing the Joker and making him sane. The Joker, who's now going by Jack Napier, wakes up completely sane and begins his plot to take down Batman. No more maniacal laughter, no more twisted plans, just a guy that wants to clean up Gotham. And his first target is Batman. Napier takes his case public, suing the GCPD, Batman, and the entire system that led him to this position for allowing Gotham's crime to spiral out of control. And here's the kicker. People actually believe him. He starts exposing all of the collateral damage that Batman has done over the years. The destruction, the reckless fights, and the innocent lives lost. And before you know it, Gotham starts seeing Batman as the real villain. And the Joker, the former clown prince of crime, is now Gotham's White Knight. Daredevil once took his own life just to save his best friend Foggy Nelson from hell. And yeah, this one goes off the rails. So let's jump into it. Early in Chip Zdarsky's run of Daredevil, Matt learned something horrifying. Foggy and Stick are actually dead and are being used as agents of the Hand. And worse, Foggy's soul is trapped in hell. So what does Matt do? He comes up with the most Daredevil plan ever. And he decides to take his own life in order to get his best friend Foggy back. Matt makes Elektra end his life in front of a soul harvesting cave. This is a place where the dead get dragged to the Beast's domain instead of Mephisto's hell. But there's a kicker. Elektra doesn't want to do it. She tries to stop him, but Matt forces his own side against him, making her inadvertently kill her own husband. And just like that, Daredevil's in hell. And when Matt wakes up, he's in a ring, about to fight his own father, Jack Murdock, who acts as his escort through hell. But here's where things get wild. When a man of God steps into hell for a noble cause, miracles happen. Daredevil transforms into the divine blessed devil in white, an unstoppable force that tears through hell's armies, all for a chance to save his best friend. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is one of the most insane Daredevil stories there is? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure that you like for more crazy Marvel moments and subscribe for more deep dives. The first time Batman and Superman met Supergirl was kind of wild. It involved a kryptonite meteor, a stolen bat vehicle, and pure chaos throughout Gotham. Let's break it down. A massive kryptonite meteor crashes into Earth, scattering kryptonite all over Gotham. So naturally, Batman, being Batman, goes to investigate. And under the Gotham harbor, he finds a mysterious spaceship that's been there for about a week. And before bats can analyze it, a naked blonde girl emerges from the water, steals his bat boat, and speeds off. Batman's security team immediately alarms him, and he chases her down. But when this boat crashes into the pier, this girl goes on an absolute rampage through Gotham. Batman then subdues her with kryptonite and takes her back to the Batcave, where he learns the shocking truth of this Kryptonian. And when she wakes up, things go off the rail again, causing more destruction. And that's when Superman steps in, and he realizes it's his cousin, Kara Zor-El. And just like that, Supergirl makes one hell of an entrance into the DC universe. What do you guys think? Was this one of the wildest ways someone's been introduced into the DC universe? Let me know in the comments and hit like for more crazy DC moments, and subscribe for more deep dives. Deadpool survived a lot of weird things, but this might be the grossest way he ever cheated death. Let's talk about the time that him and Cable had to exchange bodily fluids to survive. Yeah, you heard that right. In Cable and Deadpool number 5, both of our favorite dysfunctional heroes are falling apart. Literally, Deadpool's body is melting due to a freak virus, while Cable's techno-organic virus is taking over, and they're both dying. But there's one disgusting solution. Since Cable's virus prevents Deadpool from liquefying, and Deadpool's healing factor can slow down Cable's infection, they realize they have to exchange body fluids. Cable uses telepathy to absorb Deadpool's gooey, mushy, mixed up matter form, in which their DNAs mix, and then he violently throws Deadpool up. And yeah, it's just as nasty as it sounds, but somehow it works. Deadpool fully regenerates, and with a surprise twist, his face is healed too, for a little while at least. But honestly, as life-saving acts go, this is easily the most heroically disgusting one ever. Would you survive this level of nightmare fuel, or would you just let the virus take you out? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit like for more bizarre Marvel moments, and subscribe if you love comic book chaos. Wolverine as an Asgardian god? Yeah, that actually happened. And for a brief moment, Wolverine was the most powerful version of himself that he has ever been. So let's break it down. This all goes down with the Asgardian god of fear, Serpent, and wants to turn the earth into a hellscape ruled by fear. And to do that, he starts corrupting some of the strongest heroes on earth and turns them into his henchmen. With the Avengers completely outmatched, Iron Man does the unthinkable, and he begs Odin for help. And Odin, for the first time, actually listens, and he forges magical weapons made out of Uru metal, which is the same metal that Mjolnir's made out of, Thor's hammer, combining Stark's tech with Asgardian magic and metal, upgrading several heroes, including Wolverine. Wolverine doesn't just get some magic boost, he gets Asgardian armor, and Odin blesses his claws. Now imagine Logan's healing factor, but on a divine level. His speed, strength, and durability are through the roof. He becomes one of the most deadly versions of himself to date. But of course, there's a catch. After the battle, Odin goes and retrieves all of the magical upgrades that he offered the Avengers, because apparently, giving Berserker Murder Machine unlimited godlike power might just be a little bit too much for Asgard. And just like that, Logan goes back to normal, to his slightly less terrifying self. So what do you guys think? Should Odin let Wolverine keep his godlike power, or was that too dangerous and he made the right call? Let me know in the comments, and hit like for more insane Marvel moments like this, and subscribe for more deep dives. This is why Thanos doesn't stand a chance against Doctor Doom. After Doctor Doom steals the power of the Beyonder and starts to assemble Battleworld and acts like this all-powerful, mighty tyrant, Thanos steps up and he's like, "I've had enough of your shit, Doctor Doom," saying, "You are a weak god, a pretender. It's you who should bow before me." And then Doctor Doom simply asks him, "Do you have the Infinity Gauntlet on you now?" In which Thanos replies, "I do not, but I'm still the great tyrant Thanos, and that should be enough for you." And in this moment, Doctor Doom does the coldest thing of all time. He simply punches through the chest of Thanos, disintegrates him down to his skeleton, and says, "That appears untrue." And this comes from the 2015 Secret Wars series that's being adapted into the new Secret Wars movie coming out in 2026. And if you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't. I can't force you to do anything. I'm just a guy on the screen. Did you know that Wolverine's actually responsible for inventing beer in the Marvel Universe? Yeah, you heard that right. Logan didn't just survive history, he changed it. So let's break down the weirdest time-traveling event in Marvel history. Wolverine and Spider-Man were teaming up to stop a random robbery, and because it's Marvel, that somehow led them to be flung back in time. A true classic. While Spidey's stressing over the immediate extinction event that's about to happen, Logan, well, he's busy becoming a literal god to a pre-human race called the Smallfolk. Logan doesn't just teach them to fight, he gives them technology, but most importantly, he teaches them how to brew beer. Because priorities, right? And of course, Spidey immediately warns Logan that messing with history like this is a terrible idea. But does Logan listen? Absolutely not. Fast forward, Logan and Spidey make it back to the future only to realize that humanity is gone. But the Smallfolk? They thrived, all because of Wolverine's teachings. And the kicker? They worship Logan like a messiah and offer him a glass of their sacred liquid, aka a beer. Logan takes a sip, nods, and decrees that's a damn good beer. And hit like if you like weird Marvel moments, and make sure you subscribe for more Marvel deep dives. Alright, picture this. Wolverine and Deadpool walk into a fight and walk out one horrifying flesh monster. And this isn't just some twisted fan fiction. This actually happened once, and it's worse than you could ever think. Let's jump into it. Wolverine and Deadpool team up to take down Danger, who was a sentient AI robot from the X-Men's training facility. And she's gone rogue and started selling X-Men doppelgangers to the CIA and the Weapon X program. And that's a problem. The two storm into Xavier's mansion to stop Danger, but she knew this was coming. She activates brutal countermeasures, including magnetizing the floor, so Wolverine is just trapped. And Deadpool gets shredded by multiple buzzsaws, leaving them both in a pool of blood on the ground. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Their healing factors kick in together at the same time. So instead of regenerating separately, they regenerate together into one Cronenbergian nightmare. Picture this, Logan's claws are in the wrong parts. Wade's mouth is where it shouldn't be. And it's just true horror movie levels of disgusting. But eventually, they force themselves apart. But for a moment, they became truly the worst version of themselves. Would you like to see this monstrosity in live action? Let me know in the comments down below. And hit like if you like weird Marvel moments, and make sure you subscribe for more deep dives. Did you know that Batman could use magic, but actually isn't allowed to? And the reason why is rather chilling. In Batman the Knight, Bruce trains under the legendary magician Giovanni Zatar. But when he demands to learn magic, Zatar shuts him down immediately. Why, you might ask? Because magic takes more than it gives. But for someone like Bruce who has nothing left to take, the only thing remaining is his soul. Zatar warns that people like Bruce, who are obsessed, broken, relentless, always become monsters when they begin to touch magic. No exceptions and no second chances. And honestly, he's probably right. Imagine a Batman with no limits. A Dark Knight who could bend reality and raise the dead and erase his enemies with a thought. Scary, right? But here's the twist. Zatar gives him one piece of magic, memory. Because remembering those we love, that's the only power that doesn't come at a price. Bruce wanted the power to bring back his parents and hear their voices again. Instead, Zatar tells him that true magic isn't about spells. It's about holding on to the past without letting it consume you. What if Rogue became the Herald of Galactus? Well, in the new What If series, that's exactly what happened, and it's absolutely insane. In this universe, Rogue was never an X-Men, and her powers only manifest after giving mouth-to-mouth to the Silver Surfer who fell on her farm, and she accidentally absorbs the power cosmic, becoming the new Herald of Galactus. Talk about an origin story. But here's where things get really deep. Unlike Silver Surfer, Rogue doesn't just get the power cosmic. She's also able to absorb Galactus' thoughts and feelings. And what she learns is Galactus isn't just a monster. He's an essential part to the universe. Without him, reality would basically become a reverse black hole and collapse in on itself. So what does Rogue do? She tries to change the game, creating a Noah's Ark type plan, saving pieces of each planet that's destroyed by Galactus. But in doing so, she's now forced to choose who lives and who dies. And that's a burden that even Rogue cannot bear. Would you take up the mantle of the Herald of Galactus in order to save the universe? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, like and subscribe for more Marvel stuff like this. Daredevil with a gun? Yeah, that almost happened once. And the moment is chilling. During Chip Zdarsky's run of Daredevil, Matt gets into a street fight, but it doesn't go to plan. He struggles, and by the end, someone dies, and the NYPD hunts Matt down. But just when it looks like he's about to be caught, boom, a cloud of smoke goes off, and his rescuer? The Punisher, Frank Castle, who's thrilled that Daredevil has finally seen the light. Right? Wrong. Matt's actually really upset about what happened. He knows the Punisher's just a fanatic that justifies murder as justice, and when Frank executes a criminal right in front of him, that's when Matt snaps. Daredevil picks up the Punisher's gun and aims it, not to kill, but to prove a point. And he tells Frank, "You think you're a demon? No, I'm the devil." And that is why Daredevil cannot pull the trigger, because in his hands, it's not justice, it's carnage. And if you like Marvel content like this, make sure you like and subscribe. As a drunk driver was about to collide with this woman, Barbara Johnson started to pray to God. And as she does this, Superman arrives to save her from getting hit by this drunk driver. Barbara begins to believe that Superman is a guardian angel that she can summon at will, as every time she sees something bad going on, she prays and Superman solves the problem. Well, this causes her to get a little bit prideful, in which she goes into the top gangster's facility and begs him to shoot her, believing that all she has to do is pray and Superman will be there to save her. This gangster then shoots her directly in the lung, and Superman can hear her cries, but he is currently fighting a monster and cannot get to her in time. After defeating the monster, Superman goes to see her in the hospital, in which she survived these injuries, and she admits to Superman that her pride almost got her killed. And this story comes from Superman 659. And if you like more DC and Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
God, look up there. God, look up there.
What the hell is that?
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me? Who's got you?
After returning home, Logan finds his entire family slaughtered by Bruce Banner. After going on a rampage and killing Bruce Banner's inbred family, he finally confronts Bruce Banner, and they get into a massive brawl where Logan is just going at Bruce Banner, and he doesn't even transform until he stabs him through the stomach. And exactly in this moment, Bruce turns into the Hulk, and the Hulk eats Wolverine alive. Later on, Hulk begins to experience these stomach issues and stomach pains that are unbearing, not knowing that Logan has regenerated and is tearing his way out of the Hulk as he kills him slowly and painfully to end the Hulk forever. And if you like more Marvel and DC stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After sleeping with Spider-Man, Black Cat steals a piece of the symbiote from Peter's black suit, as she was hired by Mysterio to do so. But the suit saw and felt everything. As she returns to Mysterio, the symbiote bonds with him, allowing him to have these superpowers that give him enough power to take down Kingpin with ease. After Peter wakes up in the morning, the suit immediately bonds with him and takes him on the ride of a lifetime in complete control, going after Mysterio, showing up and just beating him to an utter pulp, taking the piece back that was stolen from him and choking him until he was almost dead, and then a shock goes off, bringing Peter back to his senses. After Null attacks Earth with symbiote-covered sentinels, all of our heroes get covered by symbiotes one by one. As Null's on the hunt for a boy named Dylan, who he finally sees through the eyes of Captain America. But just in the nick of time, Thor saves Dylan from being consumed by Null. Null and Dylan fight back one by one to free most of their friends, but Null, seeing this as his one and only opportunity to capture Dylan, shows up himself to take down the God of Thunder. Thor and Null go back and forth, swinging and beating each other. After breaking the jaw of Null, Thor thinks that he has this battle won. As he turns away, he sees Dylan get consumed by symbiotes in the distance, just to realize Null isn't dead, and he stabs Thor through the heart, leaving him for dead. This story comes from 2020's King in Black, issue 3. Let me know in the comments which characters you'd like to see more of on this channel, and if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. While the Hulk is eating pizza, Iron Man is fascinated by Spider-Man's sticking ability. Not quite understanding how it works, he asks him to show it off. So Spider-Man walks on the walls, ceilings, all this stuff to show off his power. And this provokes Iron Man to challenge him, being like, let me try to push you out a window. And he tries to do this, and Spider-Man does not move. But this continues to pique Iron Man's interest, and his curiosity gets the best of him. He goes, so basically you can stick to anything. He asks, can you stick to the Hulk? In which, without even thinking, Spider-Man begins to crawl on the bicep of the Hulk, leading us to one of the funniest moments in comic book history, where Spider-Man is dangling upside down on Hulk's bicep. Did you know that Taskmaster literally can't copy Deadpool's moves? For those of you that don't know, Taskmaster has what they call photographic reflexes, which means that he can copy the abilities of anyone that he's fighting while he's fighting them, meaning he's truly a force to be reckoned with by using your own moveset against you, or someone whose moveset is actually better fit to kick your ass. But with Deadpool, It's impossible because most of the time Deadpool doesn't even know what he's gonna do. Even while they fight, he refers to the fighting ceiling style of Lionel Richie, which Taskmaster has no idea what he's talking about. So these moments are truly what keeps Deadpool unpredictable, which makes Deadpool Taskmaster's kryptonite up until he finds the most brutal fighting style possible that Taskmaster has copied over the years, and that happens to be the Punisher. And the Punisher's moveset is the only one that can go toe-to-toe with Deadpool's unpredictability. Let me know in the comments down below if you think there are any other movesets that Taskmaster could copy that could go toe-to-toe with Deadpool. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm gonna start doing extended versions of my short type content here in long form land on YouTube. So if you like this video, please support it, leave a like, share it with a friend, so that way I know that these longer form videos are worth making for you guys. And as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful. During Civil War, Spider-Man decided that he no longer wants to be on Iron Man's team, as it was wrong for him to join this side in the first place. And they get into a brief scuffle and Spider-Man ends up leaving. Iron Man in turn then sends all of the Thunderbolts after Spider-Man, which causes his spider sense to go crazy, to the point that he didn't even detect a bomb that was right underneath him. After the Jester and Jack catch up to him in the sewers, they pin him up against the wall and beat him senselessly, as they're going on about how much the tables have turned. And at this point, Iron Man and S.H.I.E.L.D. are telling them to stand down, but they're not stopping. As Peter's on the brink of losing his life, Punisher shows up and shoots both Jackal and the Jester in the head. While Cap and his side of this war are having a meeting, the Punisher shows up carrying Spider-Man and immediately demanding a medic. Did you know that Deadpool once regenerated out of Wolverine's back? After Wade and Wolverine defeat a serial killer, Wade is then captured by a villain known as Delta. And Delta gives Deadpool these really cool new powers, but it also accelerated his cancer. After Wolverine tracks down this new version of Deadpool, they get into a brief scuffle in which Deadpool goes berserk. But this battle doesn't last long, as they're both transported to the Siberian tundra, where they're hunted down by this new villain named Delta and his new pet monster. Deadpool is then ripped to shreds instantly by this monster, which in turn enrages Wolverine to the point that he goes berserk. But this berserk mode accelerates the regeneration powers of Deadpool, whose blood had leaked into Wolverine while he was being ripped to shreds, causing Deadpool to legitimately regenerate out of the back of Wolverine. They work together to defeat the monster, and Deadpool still has to stop Wolverine's berserk mode, where he ends up just stabbing him in the neck to calm him down. And after he calms down, Deadpool makes a full recovery and regeneration out of Wolverine, returning the Merc with a mouth back to the Marvel Universe. Did you know Superman once bet Batman that he couldn't hit a home run off of him? In this whimsical story, Batman and Superman are at a carnival with Lois Lane and Selena Kyle. While in the batting cages, they go back and forth about how Bruce can't even hit a pitch off of Superman. As they continue on with the night, and both Selena and Lois are having the time of their life, Superman's caught up on the fact that there's no way that he could do it. His son can't even do it. While Bruce is calculating the physics and timing that he would need in order to make this happen. As they begin to leave the carnival, Bruce says, "I have a place where we can settle this." Cut to the next scene where they're in an MLB stadium, and Superman gets ready to make the craziest pitch of his life. And a crack rings out, in which Batman hit this ball out of the park. After Odin was killed by the King of the Frost Giants, he then slaughtered everyone in Asgard, imprisoned Freya, and claimed Thor as his own. During this time, Thor and Loki became relatively close as children, in which Thor saved Loki from a Jotunheim beast that was about to kill him. After killing the beast, announced himself as the Prince of Winter. During this time, Loki gets close to Freya and begins to put together a plan for them to escape. And while this is happening, Thor is going after mission in battle and was deemed worthy enough to carry the Ice Crusher, which is the hammer of the kings. Flash forward to Loki and Freya trying to escape, and they're met by Thor and the King of the Frost Giants, who Loki then in turn kills his father, and Thor ends up accidentally killing his mother, leading Thor to let Loki go and live whatever life that he was planning on having when he was leaving with Freya. Did you know the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles once teamed up to take down Shredder and Rita Repulsa at the same time? After finding out Tommy has joined the Foot Clan, the Ninja Turtles face off against Tommy and the other Rangers on top of a building. Although Kimberly is curious about why Tommy has joined the Foot Clan, Tommy asks her to trust him in what he's doing. After the Turtle and Rangers battle it out for a bit, we are taken to the next scene where we learn why Tommy has joined the Foot Clan, in which he's trying to save a childhood friend. But this friend turns on him and shocks him as Shredder says, "Good work." This allows Shredder to steal Tommy's dragon coin and meet up with Rita Repulsa, who, after making a pact to not hurt one another until after the Rangers and Turtles are destroyed, and in this moment, Shredder reveals that he can morph into the Green Ranger. And after it's revealed that Shredder nullified all of the other power coins for their current users, meaning the current Power Rangers cannot transform. But this leads Billy to an idea where he suggests that they give their morphers and coins to the Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil. And we see the Ninja Turtles transform into the Power Rangers as they go to take down both Shredder and Rita. Did you know that Deadpool once met All Might? In Japan's official Deadpool manga, Deadpool Samurai, a device is being secured in the Avengers Vault. While this device is being secured, Hydra attacks to try to retrieve this device for Loki. While the Avengers have no problem taking down the goons, a clone of Thanos then appears, this being too much for even a venomized Deadpool and the Hulk. And as Deadpool tries to call for Captain Marvel, his finger slips and he ends up calling the UA vet instead. And after a moment, All Might arrives to the scene and wastes no time getting to work on Thanos, as All Might suggests that him and Deadpool should attack at the same time. And as they're running to attack Thanos, Deadpool trips and falls on his face, and All Might hits Thanos into next month, defeating him in one punch. And as All Might says that his job here is done, he takes off, as Deadpool yells from the background for him to come back and sign his book. But as he opens his book, he realizes All Might has already signed it. Who is Venom 2099? After a symbiote sat in the sewers and mutated over hundreds of years, it then fused with Kron Stone, who is the half-brother of Miguel O'Hara, who is Spider-Man 2099. And he becomes an absolute menace, terrorizing Miguel around every corner. Some key differences between the 616 Venom and 2099 Venom is that he has acid saliva, meaning if he's just standing over you and just drooling, you are getting burned alive. He also has spike-like tendrils that he uses to just impale people, and this makes him a pure nightmare for Miguel. Did you know Deadpool is actually a fan of Chainsaw Man? In the latest run of Deadpool, you see him and his new Carnage puppy, Princess, about ready to jump out of a plane. And yes, you heard that correct, a Carnage puppy. After they begin to infiltrate the base, they run into a guy with a rocket launcher who is just causing there to be fire and flames everywhere, and he actually beats up Deadpool pretty well here. And Princess, who's afraid of fire because, symbiotes and fire don't really mix, runs away. And as this goon steps over Deadpool and begins to light him on fire, you see Deadpool ask, "Hey, have you ever seen Chainsaw Man?" as he presents the con symbol. And just like in Chainsaw Man, Princess pops out of nowhere and bites the goon in half. After Logan died from being encased in molten adamantium, the X-Men, refusing to leave Logan like this, enlisted the help of Kitty Pryde, who phased him out of this adamantium casket. This is all because they wanted to give him a proper burial, as they believed their friend deserved this. After a while, the Reavers try to loot Logan's tomb, but they find it empty and then get defeated by the X-Men. And this leads Kitty Pryde to visit Logan's grave to tell him all about what just happened. But while she sits there, she realizes there's something strange going on with his burial place. And she discovered that Logan's remains are missing from his grave. And as the X-Men start their search for the supposedly dead hero, Logan just shows up in all black, working for a mysterious figure, as he shows his claws and lets everyone know that he's ready for action. What if you took Black Panther and mixed him with Superman? Well, then you'd get Star Panther, who's a variant of T'Challa from Earth 41766. As an infant, his parents sent him to an alien world that was ruled by King Killmonger, who was basically Killmonger in a destroyer armor, who had plans to wipe out T'Challa's from across the multiverse, as well as remove Wakanda from all maps. Later in his life, T'Challa built an armor out of the vibranium that was left on his ship, in which he had powers that were similar to Spider-Man at this point, which I know sounds crazy. And he tries to face off with Killmonger and take him out, but he loses this battle and gets thrown into a star. But luckily for him, the suit encases him in vibranium, and he is stuck in this star for what seems like eternity. But after 3 days, the All Rider finds him in this star and pulls him out, and he emerges as a cosmic level being, in which now he has powers that are similar to Superman, making him the most powerful version of Black Panther. Deadpool was once hired by a demon named Bettis to keep Iron Man not sober. Deadpool agrees to this on one condition, that he gets him a laser disc printing factory. After setting the terms, Deadpool heads off to buy some liquor for Tony. After finding him in an old beat-up hotel, it is clear that Tony is very depressed. And Tony's just sitting there with just various pieces of Iron Man gear on, like not the whole suit, like just pieces of it. And after a small conversation with Tony, Wade realizes that he truly needs help. So instead of keeping him not sober, he helps Tony pour out all the alcohol in the hotel. And this gives him a renewed sense of focus. And they overhear on the news that there might have been a possible nuclear meltdown. After Tony rushes to put the Iron Man armor on, Deadpool knocks out Tony and puts on the Iron Man armor himself. After stopping the incident by throwing the nuclear fuel rods into the ocean, Wade is confronted by Bettis, who said, "We had a deal," which Deadpool explains the contract was to keep Iron Man drinking, which, because he was in the Iron Man armor and he had been drinking, he had fulfilled his end of the deal. After Asteroid M explodes, causing the largest EMP in the world, there's only one place that still has power left. And this just happens to be in Russia, where Colossus is originally from. Nick Fury then sends Wolverine, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier, as well as a few S.H.I.E.L.D. agents after this power, in which they learn that Colossus has teamed up with Sabretooth, Deadpool, and Omega Red. After Wolverine, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier are captured, Sabretooth reveals that they all have had bombs implanted in them. And after wasting absolutely zero time, Deadpool blows them all up, killing Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But Wolverine regenerates, and this is where his revenge begins. After attending Cap's funeral, he swears that he's going to systematically destroy the people that hurt him and his friends. After returning back to Russia, he systematically destroys them one by one, teaming up with Forge to nullify Sabretooth's healing power, and then killing him. He then strangles Omega Red with his own tentacles, making it look easy, and then kicks Deadpool into a nuclear reactor. And last but not least, he proves to us that he can cut through Colossus's skin and end him with one single strike through the face. Have you ever wondered why Batman's so heartless? Well, it's actually due to an event that happened during his training to become Batman. His sensei told him to cut away his emotions, as emotional ties make him weak, but his sensei's wife told him to keep his emotions. After this, Bruce meets a girl named Mio and hangs out with her behind his sensei's back. After hanging out for a bit, Batman has to get back to his training, and Bruce says, "I'll see you later tonight." While he's waiting for her to arrive later that night, an intruder shows up and kills the sensei. After getting to a brawl, Bruce then reveals that the intruder was Mio, and she was hired by the sensei's wife to kill the sensei and steal his wealth. And in his final breath, he tells Bruce to never become too attached to others, and that this was his final lesson. You might wonder how the Cape Crusader gets any sleep at all. Well, Batman is actually a professional napper. He's been known to stay awake for 80 plus hours, but he's mastered the technique of power naps, which are 20 to 30 minute naps that he does even while Alfred is talking to him sometimes. And he claims that they are more refreshing, keep him aware, and at his highest alert level, so he can stay up late into the night, chase bad guys into the morning, and not have to worry about getting a full 6 hours of sleep at once. The Joker once fed the entire Bat family their own faces. After disappearing for over a year, the Joker returns with his surgically removed face stitched back onto his face. After capturing the entire Bat family, he sits them all down for a mock dinner, with Nightwing, both Robins, Batgirl, and Alfred all attending. Alfred is in a crazed state, while the others have bandages wrapped around their head. As Batman's trying to figure out why, the Joker's playing games with him. As he forces Alfred to bring out tonight's dinner special, Batman is trying to come up with a plan to escape. As it's revealed on their plates are their own faces. This causes Batman to lose it, And planning for the worst, he ignites the fuse underneath of him, causing a massive explosion to go off. Batman escapes and chases after Joker. The Joker then jumps off a waterfall, leaving Bruce to believe that he's finally dead. As he gets back to the rest of the family, he takes off their bandages to reveal that this was all just a sick joke by the Joker, and they still had all of their faces.
Batman is truly confused, and he's like, how do I know all these languages, and how do I know how to fight if I've never been Batman? He starts to lose his psyche and starts ripping away at the asylum as the nights go on. And inside the asylum, he finds a penny and a dinosaur, which are the last factors that he needs to prove that there was a Batcave. And in doing this, he asked Alfred to show him his Batman costume, which he finds this suit is just an electric shock therapy suit with a helmet on it. But then Bruce puts on this suit and tries to escape anyway, just to find out that this entire thing was a simulation and he was right the entire time.
Spider-Man once created a suit that made him faster than the Flash. After failing to keep up with his villains in the Insomniac-verse, Peter was at his wit's end and didn't know what to do, so he started tinkering with this new suit. He had all these new ideas. When on the news, he sees footage of this girl running 1,000 miles a minute, and he's like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let me add that tech into my suit. After putting his brain and Doc Ock's tools to work, he finally builds a suit that gives him super speed, finally creating the Velocity suit. And this suit allowed him to create gadgets, learn the plans of his enemies, defeat his enemies, catch up with bad guys, all in a matter of seconds. But as this story comes full circle, he had to give this suit up to the girl that was on the news so she could regulate her speed and she didn't die from her ability. After failing to kill baby Thanos, Cosmic Ghost Rider then abducts Thanos and decides to raise him himself. Not long after, Ghost Rider is approached by the Watcher, Galactus, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, who tell him that you actually raised an infinitely worse version of Thanos, who is even more destructive than he was before. But Ghost Rider doesn't listen, and they get into this massive brawl in which Ghost Rider takes out every single one of them. And just as he puts the final blast in Cable, a Thanos from the future shows up, and he shows Ghost Rider the evil world that he's created. Not long after this, he gets in a fight with this new Thanos, killing him and then returning the baby Thanos back to his own timeline, while saying to himself, there's no point in trying to raise you. You might wonder how the Cape Crusader gets any sleep at all. Well, Batman is actually a professional napper. He's been known to stay awake for 80 plus hours, but he's mastered the technique of power naps, which are 20 to 30 minute naps that he does even while Alfred is talking to him sometimes. And he claims that they are more refreshing, keep him aware, and at his highest alert level, so he can stay up late into the night, chase bad guys into the morning, and not have to worry about getting a full 6 hours of sleep at once.
So why did all of the Avengers surround the Hulk?
When Ulysses, a mutant that can potentially predict the future, predicts that the Hulk will completely destroy every single Avenger, every Marvel hero rushes to Bruce's lab to find out what's going on.
And the Beast finds out that Bruce is experimenting on himself,
which in turn frustrates the hell out of Bruce.
And Clint takes a shot and kills him,
which is something that Bruce asked him to do if he was ever about to Hulk out ever again. After returning Deadpool's head to his body, Black Panther plans to make Deadpool stand trial for murder. Deadpool then begs Black Panther to free him and give him some vibranium to help save his friend's life. Deadpool knew that Black Panther would still refuse this offer and left a bomb in his pocket that soon goes off. Deadpool uses this moment to escape, but Black Panther quickly catches up and beats the ever-living hell out of Deadpool. After enduring this beating for a bit, Wade tries to use his broken teleporter device, sending him to a room full of Black Panther tech, in which Wade finds a brand new vibranium Black Panther armor. Deadpool then asks Black Panther for a selfie just as he claws him across the chest. Noticing that a suit is made out of vibranium, he believes that he now has the upper hand. Wade then teleports away and ends up in a vibranium mine, where the mine messes with his teleportation device and ends up swapping the mountain with a piece of a highway. After the Avengers are tasked with hunting down the remaining mutants in this universe, Captain America reluctantly teams up with the other heroes, including Iron Man, Black Widow, and the Hulk. But this universe's Iron Man is fused with his suit and has a little bit of an issue going on inside, which causes his armor to slowly eat him alive. The team is sent to destroy Fortress X, which is a solace for all of the mutants, and the team just starts taking the lives of all the mutants that they see, with Captain America blindly firing
into a crowd of mutants. However, he would soon realize his mistake as he had shot and killed Mystique, who was protecting the last remaining mutant children. And this causes the team to reconsider their entire mission. Just as Tony's suit gets an emergency override and begins to prep his phaser at the mutant. And in this moment, Cap makes a game-time decision and shoots Iron Man in the back of the head to save the mutants. And this story comes from the 2011 Age of X universe 1 and 2 if you want to read more. And if you like more comic breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Mephisto enslaves Silver Surfer and forces him to hunt down people that are about to pass on and make a deal with him in order to get them to give their souls to Mephisto before they pass on. But after a while, the Silver Surfer has enough of this and refuses to do it. And in this moment, Mephisto pulls him back to hell, where they get into this heated argument and the Silver Surfer unleashes this crazy attack. But it's not enough to hurt Mephisto, it's enough to show him that he will no longer be imprisoned by him. And after this ordeal, Mephisto lets him go and he is free from Mephisto's control. And this is just the beginning of Marvel's new Annihilation 2099 series that's rolling out right now. If you want more comic breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe. This is why Thanos doesn't stand a chance against Doctor Doom. After Doctor Doom steals the power of the Beyonder and starts to assemble Battleworld and acts like this all-powerful, mighty tyrant, Thanos steps up and he's like, I've had enough of your shit, Doctor Doom, saying, you are a weak god, a pretender. It's you who should bow before me. And then Doctor Doom simply asks him, do you have the Infinity Gauntlet on you now? In which Thanos replies, I do not, but I'm still the great tyrant Thanos, and that should be enough for you. And in this moment, Doctor Doom does the coldest thing of all time. He simply punches through the chest of Thanos, disintegrates him down to his skeleton, and says, that appears untrue. And this comes from the 2015 Secret Wars series that's being adapted into the new Secret Wars movie coming out in 2026. And if you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't. I can't force you to do anything. I'm just a guy on the screen. After living for hundreds of years, Deadpool's healing factor becomes more of a curse than a blessing, as death comes for his 90-plus-year-old daughter. Deadpool, knowing that he doesn't want to live in a world without his daughter, tries everything in his power to kill Death, just to have his daughter arrive in the nick of time to save Death and tell him that she's lived a full life and she's ready to pass on. Knowing that Deadpool doesn't want to live in a world without her, she devises a plan to detonate a neutrino bomb that will vaporize both of them in an instant. Deadpool, questioning this, wants to make sure that he is completely vaporized, because even if a single atom of him survives, then he will regenerate. His daughter assures him that it has the power of a black hole and there's no way that they could survive, as Deadpool hugs his daughter and dies peacefully in her arms. And this story comes from 2020's Deadpool The End by Joe Kelly. And if you like more comic breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't. There's nothing I can do about it.
During college, Victor tricks Iron Man into switching bodies with him with an experiment that he wanted him to help him with. During this process, both of their memories are wiped, and afterwards, the Tony Stark, who is now Victor, gets Iron Man expelled from college and sent back to Liberia. During this time, Victor is living the lavish life as Iron Man and living it up under the Stark name. Tony, as Victor, is now stuck in a third world country trying to build up his tech and get it noticed by the world. And he began to rise up the ranks, getting his doctorate and inventing tech that could then threaten Stark Industries. And then Victor shows up in a prototype Iron Man suit and attacks Tony. Tony, who has this makeshift Doom suit, tries to confront Iron Man, but the suit was never made for combat. But Tony hacks the Iron Man suit and ignites his rockets, which then defeats Victor. And in this moment, Victor asks for Tony's forgiveness and even offers to switch bodies back. But in this moment, Tony says no, as the world has come to know the Stark name with greed, and he doesn't want to be that, because he is now Victor Von Doom, an honorable man. And this story comes from What If Iron Man Demon in Arbor #1 by David Michelini. And if you like comic book stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After Wolverine and Namor get into a heated battle, Wolverine lunges at Namor, and just before he sticks his claws into Namor, Storm jumps in front of him. causing Wolverine to kill Storm, which in turn causes a catastrophic chain of events. Magneto then blows up the helicarrier that they were on, causing the deaths of Colleen, Wing, and Falcon. While this is happening, there's another set of Avengers in space trying to take on the Phoenix Force, and Thor goes toe-to-toe with the Phoenix Force and loses his life and Mjolnir in the process. Magneto and Hope Summers then show up in space, in which Hope Summers fuses with the Phoenix Force, and she can't control these powers and she begins to lash out at everyone in her way. After Magneto kills Black Panther, who tries to stop him, they go back to Earth, where she's met face to face with the Avengers, who have had enough of her shenanigans, with Nova making a game-time decision to get Iron Fist and Spider-Man out of the situation because it's out of their league. Magneto then crushes Nova's helmet, killing him instantly, which then causes Red Hulk to jump in, who Phoenix annihilates instantly with a flame tornado. Cyclops and Scarlet Witch try to get her to come to her senses and be like, "Stop, Hope." And she just screams, "I can't stop." In which she turns to Magneto, and Magneto says, "Come here, my child." And in this moment, Magneto steals the Phoenix Force from Hope Summers, with Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, and Ms. Marvel staring on in shock. Cap then throws his shield at Magneto, and Magneto catches it, energizes it, and throws it back at both Cap and Iron Man, ripping them both in half.
Xavier then gets in Magneto's mind,
and Hulk throws Wolverine across the canyon at Magneto, landing his fist directly in his face to bring this entire event to an end. And this story comes from the What If Avengers vs. X-Men 4-part series. And if you like more comic breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you to do anything.
How powerful is Red Hulk? So you might have seen in the up-and-coming trailer for Captain America Brave New World that Red Hulk is coming. But let's break down why Red Hulk's actually kind of more powerful than regular Hulk. Red Hulk is a transformed version of General Thunderbolt Ross. This transformation is the result of him trying to end the original Hulk for years. But a few things that set Red Hulk and the regular Hulk apart is that he actually gets stronger with radiation. So fighting the Hulk, he actually gets stronger as the Hulk emits a tiny bit of gamma radiation at all times. But there's a drawback to the Red Hulk. He actually gets to the point that he heats up while he's getting stronger. So as he gets more powerful, the heat gets unbearable, and that's the only thing that can really stop the Red Hulk. But it's not that crazy of a setback because he's been known to take down the Silver Surfer, he's been known to take down Thor, and much more powerful characters. So it's a drawback, but it's not much of a drawback. But let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for Red Hulk to enter the MCU.
Who is Anti-Venom? Anti-Venom was created when Eddie Brock had cancer, and he got a visit from Mr. Negative, who transferred some of his power into Eddie, who still had a little bit of venom inside of him. This caused that symbiote to gain Mr. Negative's abilities and created Anti-Venom. But this also created a very unique situation, where the regular weaknesses that Venom had no longer exist, where he's immune to fire, he's immune to sound, he has healing abilities, and can strip other people of symbiotes as well. Plus, Anti-Venom wasn't created by Null, so it doesn't have a mind of its own, and Eddie has complete and utter control over Anti-Venom. And this is why Anti-Venom is one of the most powerful and hardest symbiotes to take down. And if you like more comic stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
Well, Venom's gonna get you in your sleep.
Did you know Deadpool once fused with 4 different symbiotes in order to take down Carnage? After Carnage goes on a crazy killing spree and starts taking out as many people as possible, Deadpool goes after him. After a fierce battle in multiple different locations, Deadpool gets disembodied by Carnage. And in this moment, the symbiotes that don't have hosts right now pull together in order to create Hybrid, which is an amalgamation of Deadpool, Phage, Lasher, Riot, and Agony, all coming with their individual abilities in one single Hybrid Deadpool. But even after this intense battle, it's really not enough to stop Carnage. So Deadpool gets creative and pretends to be Cassidy's girlfriend, and tricks Carnage into thinking that he killed his girlfriend, which leads him to a mental breakdown, ending the story in a perfect little bow with Cletus Cassidy back behind bars. And this story comes from Deadpool vs. Carnage, issues 1 through 4. And if you like more comic book stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't. If you don't, I can't save you from Carnage. What if Wolverine bonded with Venom? Logan learns from the Triads that Sabretooth has received the Venom symbiote. After waiting for him in a bar, Sabretooth shows up, they get into this massive bar fight, and Logan slashes at the back of Sabretooth. In doing this, he opens the bag on the back of Sabretooth, which just happens to contain the Venom symbiote. As Venom is taking over Wolverine, Sabretooth admits that it was him that is hunting down Logan for this exact same reason, and the client that did hire him just wanted to cause chaos. As Venom takes complete control, he starts taking out all the cops and causing chaos. Because Wolverine is trapped inside this mind prison, Venom has complete control, and he just starts causing as much chaos as possible. While Wolverine is trapped in this mind prison, he remembers what Professor X told him, and that gives him the power to rip through the chest of Venom and release himself successfully from the symbiote. And this story has two interesting endings where Moon Knight shows up and a little post-credit scene where you see Doctor Strange showing up to where the backpack was found and Venom was originally released. And this comes from the 2024 What If Venom series, and this is currently rolling out as one of my favorites in a long time. And you can tell it's building to something much bigger, so you might want to catch up now. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
What happens when you combine Wolverine and Ghost Rider? Well, you get the Helverin. And the Helverin is one of the most badass characters that Marvel's ever done. And Helverin is now back in 2024. But this time, Logan isn't Helverin. And he gets kidnapped because everyone thinks that he is Helverin from the time that he was. This causing confusion as the Helverin is still on a rampage, killing all of these politicians and people that have done some unjust things and presenting them in a shrine for Mephisto. As Logan's being interrogated, he's asked, well then who is it then? And Logan doesn't know. So he sets off on a mission to try to figure out who this new Helverin is. And while this is going on, there's this new rise of this new power group called the Hellfire Warriors that are going after people left and right. Logan finds one of the Hellfire Warriors and chops the head off of them, just to learn that this isn't enough to stop them. As Logan retreats, he sees off in the distance the Helverin and recognizes him by his tattoos that it is his son, Daken. And this story comes from the 2024 Wolverine standalone series, which is only 3 issues in. So if you like what's going on here, make sure you pick up a copy and catch up before it gets real crazy. And if you like Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. This is one of the funniest Deadpool fourth wall breaks in history. During an adventure, Spider-Man and Deadpool are on their way through this tunnel system, and Deadpool just starts doing his thing. His fourth wall breaking, talk to us, talking to the characters, talking to everybody involved, right? And after a while, Spider-Man's just like, who are you talking to? Like, stop talking to yourself kind of thing. And in this moment, Deadpool says, well, I don't even know who I'm talking to, and tries to get Spider-Man to reveal his identity, causing Spider-Man to take off his mask. And when he takes off his mask, Deadpool is shocked to see that his face is blank. Following this, Deadpool starts cussing out the writers and saying that they're preventing this moment from happening, as he even tries to get Spider-Man to reveal his name, and his name gets blanked out to Deadpool. And this moment comes from Spider-Man and Deadpool issue number 42. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
3 of the most useless mutant powers. Number 1, Jazz, whose only power, and I kid you not, is that his skin is blue. That is it. Number 2 is Longneck. You guessed it, his only power is that he has a long neck. And last but not least is Glob Herman, who has the power to turn his skin translucent, but not his organs. So therefore, if you were to just aim at his vital points, you kind of have a pretty easy shot. Oh, and bonus, he also has skin that's made of wax, so you can just light him on fire. And let's just say not all X-Men got it as good as Wolverine. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
While Thor's giving his speech, he looks up and he sees Galactus falling from the sky. As he gets ready for battle, a weakened Galactus asked him for help, saying that the Black Winter is coming. Thor questions Galactus about this Black Winter, and he states that everyone perceives the Black Winter differently, but you will always see your own death. In this moment, it looks like Galactus attacks Thor, but in reality, he made him his new Herald of Thunder. Although after the two confront this cosmic entity, this alliance is very short-lived, as Thor betrays Galactus and uses his body as a bomb to destroy the Black Winter. And this story comes from 2020's new Thor #1 by Donny Cates. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. As he's wounded, battered, and bruised, he begins to hide from the Predator, but the Predator can see him with his heat vision. As this chase goes on, we learn that this isn't Logan's first encounter with the Predator, and their feud actually goes back many years. And this is a Predator that he originally ran into back with his bone claws, in which the Predator ended up breaking and leaving Logan for dead. Just as the Predator gets grabbed by a bear, Logan thinks this is the end, the bear can take the Predator.
the Predator comes out with the severed head of the bear, showing that this war is just beginning. But over the next few years, the Predator tracks down Logan to a Weapons X facility, where he learns that he now has an adamantium skeleton, which the Predator perceives as the ultimate prize. As the Predator begins to reveal the adamantium skeleton, Wolverine wakes up and stabs the Predator, just for the Predator to shoot acid into his mouth, melting his entire face. As the Predator tries to take his entire trophy back to his ship and leave, he gets shot by the military. This wakes Logan up, in which he rips a hole in the side of the ship and falls down like a meteor to the earth. And this leads us back to present day, where the Predator is still chasing Wolverine. As they get into their final confrontation, Logan realizes that the Predator has a bomb on the side of him, and not understanding the letters, but recognizing that as a countdown, he waits for it to explode, as the Predator thinks that it'll take out both of them, and he'll get his trophy, even if it's in the afterlife. And this story comes from Predator vs. Wolverine, and if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
Kane Parker is the Jackal's first attempt at cloning Peter Parker. Although it thought that this cloning process was a success, come to find out there was a flaw, and he had this degenerative cell disease. Over time, this degenerative disease was cured. Kane is known as a anti-hero slash ally slash partner to both Ben Reilly and Peter Parker. He has a lot of the same attributes that both Peter Parker and Ben Reilly do, including super strength, super speed, super stamina, super durability, but also has a regenerative healing factor and what's referred to as the mark of Kane, meaning every time that he defeats someone, it leaves a mark on their face burning into their skin. And that one might be a bit biblical. He also has the sting of Kane, which are bone-like structures that come out of his wrist like Wolverine's claws, as well as night vision. He also has a monstrous transformation. Some of these powers have been retconned over the years, but these are the ones that he's known to have throughout his comic book career. And he also becomes the Scarlet Spider. Although originally designed as a clone of Peter Parker, he has now become one of the most beloved members of the Spider-Verse. Let me know who your favorite variant of Spider-Man is in the comments down below.
And as always, make sure that you like and subscribe.
After falling into a deep depression, Spider-Man goes to seek counsel from his multiverse counterparts. This council is made up of some of the most badass Spider-Man throughout the multiverse. As he begins to express his problems, the Spider-Men say, "Oh man, you're so lucky. You've won a Nobel Peace Prize. You got this, all that." Following with, "Maybe you should just give up on being Spider-Man. Maybe that will make you happy." As Spider-Man is confused, he starts to look around and is like, "You guys are totally screwing with me, aren't you?" As the rest of them all burst out laughing and confirm that all of their lives are just as terrible as his and they all have depression, making it an oddly sweet moment for Peter Parker. And this moment comes from Amazing Fantasy issue 1000. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After being transported to the wrong universe, Spider-Man 2099 comes across Maestro, who, if you don't know, is a future version of Hulk. Flash forward, Maestro tries to make a deal with Spider-Man 2099 to bring him back to his universe, as he says that he's a time traveler. Knowing that Spider-Man is lying, Maestro then attacks him, capturing him and locking him up in a jail cell. Come to find out, inside this jail cell is a female version of Doctor Strange. They go on to try to escape this facility, running into all of the Avengers gear that Maestro has claimed over the years. Maestro then confronts them again in this room, and Spider-Man uses an artifact in the room to kill Maestro, which then sends him back to his own timeline. We come to find out that this was all a trick from Maestro and part of his plan in order to get back to his own timeline. And this story comes from 2015's Spider-Man 2099 series. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. This might be the worst / saddest mutant power of all time. Forget-Me-Not lives in a constant state of superposition. Much like a quantum computer, if you're not directly interacting with him or in his sightline, he doesn't exist, and your memories of him also disappear as well. But Forget-Me-Not has been an X-Men for a lot longer than people think he has, and he's been in the background of some of the craziest events that the X-Men have gone through. And it's to the point that Charles Xavier actually has to set a reminder in his brain every hour to remind him that Forget-Me-Not exists and he is part of the X-Men and he is on these missions with him. And Forget-Me-Not was introduced in X-Men Legacy issue 300 in 2014. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Or don't, and I'll be just like Forget-Me-Not to you. Who is the strongest Hulk, you might ask? Well, how glad you did. In an alternative future, Toba Hulk, who is the embodiment of the one below all in the body
of Bruce Banner and the Hulk. And this dark alter ego is the embodiment of true, pure hatred. And his goal is to just destroy the multiverse, and that's it. No other goals for this guy. And this version of Hulk destroys the entire multiverse with ease. Nothing stands in his way, although many tried. And if you want to learn more about this version of Hulk, make sure you check out Immortal Hulk from 2018. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After Death goes missing and everyone seems to be coming back to life and turning into zombies, Deadpool can no longer kill people for money, so he ends up teaming up with the one person who is obsessed with death, and that is our boy Thanos. And they go on a magical ride to try to figure out what happened to Death, to find out that Death was kidnapped by Eternity. And once they free Death from Eternity, Death gives both Deadpool and Thanos a fraction of her power to take down Eternity. Thanos goes directly at Eternity trying to kill him, but if he does this ends the entire universe. So Deadpool tries to stop Thanos, which gets him tossed inside Eternity where he meets Omnipower, who then uses Deadpool as his avatar and fuses with him, creating Omnipool, who, for a very, very short-lived time, is the most powerful character in all of Marvel, who defeats Thanos and restores balance to the universe. And this story comes from Deadpool vs. Thanos, issues 1 through 4. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanos is an absolute menace to this guy named David. On his first birthday, he stole his blanket. On his 5th birthday, he crushed the family car with his dad inside. On his 16th birthday, he made his girlfriend break up with him. On his 24th birthday, he poisoned his friends. On his 25th birthday, he burned down his grad school. On his 27th birthday, he got him fired. In his 30th birthday, he actually missed because the Avengers stopped him, which made David think that he was free, just for Thanos to show up next year and apologize for missing his birthday, and then send his house into a black hole. By his 45th birthday, he's basically given up on everything, but he thinks that he figures out why Thanos is doing this. And just before he goes to tell Thanos, Thanos floods his apartment and says he doesn't care and just walks out. And this story comes from 2018's Thanos Annual. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After killing Peter Parker, Deadpool waits for Peter's soul to arrive in hell. After searching everywhere for his soul, he realizes Peter's nowhere to be found. After this, he makes a deal to bring Peter back to life so he can unplug it and plug it back in. After killing Peter a second time, he realizes that's not how hell works, and they don't make mistakes like that. This makes Wade realize that Peter's not evil, in which he has to go to Limbo to find out where he is. After Wade gets to Limbo, he finds Peter fighting Mysterio's illusions. After helping him defeat Mysterio, he makes a deal with Lady Death and Mephisto to bring Peter back to life for the final time, in which he apologizes and vows to find and kill the person that framed him for all of these horrific science experiments that he thought that he did, which caused him to kill him in the first place. This leads them to team up to take down Patient Zero, who was behind this entire thing. But that's only just the beginning of the story. Penn beats Deadpool in a poker game, and his prize, Deadpool and Teller have to swap places for a day. And in this time, Penn does the most gruesome tricks he can with Deadpool, knowing that he's going to be okay, as Teller, as Deadpool, gets into this massive battle with these magicians with Spider-Man, in which Teller outsmarts the magicians and Spider-Man captures them. This leads to the following week, everyone showing up for the gruesome show that they saw with Deadpool, just for Penn and Teller to not be able to perform those tricks ever again. 4 of the craziest versions of Wolverine. Number 4 is Cancer Claw Wolverine that comes from the Cancerverse. This version of Wolverine, if he even comes in contact with you slightly, you get cancer, and I'm sure you're not even able to survive the encounter. Number 3 is Cyclops Wolverine. That is just as terrifying as it sounds. In one hand, he has his iconic claws, but in the other, he's able to fire Cyclops' lasers from his fists. Number 2 is Diamond Claw Wolverine, which is a more powerful version of Wolverine that has all of the same attributes but can read people's mind as he stabs them. And of course, his claws are made out of diamonds. And number 1 is Knife Claw Wolverine, which is one of the most badass versions of him that comes from the Noir universe. Instead of having claws at all, he has steak knives that he carries between his fingers to take out his enemies. Let me know in the comments down below your favorite version of Wolverine.
Superior Iron Man has to be the worst version of Iron Man. During the Axios event, all the morals of each character were flip-flopped, so Tony Stark became the worst version of himself. in which he controlled propaganda, he manipulated the media, he purposely released the extremist virus, and then sold them the cure for profit. After they were all weak and addicted to his drugs, he then released security drones to watch over the population. But this reign of tyranny was brought to an end by Captain America during an incursion event in which Tony said directly to Cap that he regrets absolutely nothing about anything that he did.
In the distant future, when Bruce Banner has explored the entire continent and realizes that it's just him and Hulk that are the last remaining humans on Earth, well, if you can call Hulk human, and the only other surviving organisms are these metal cockroaches that rip Hulk to shreds every day as he cannot fight them all off. But luckily, it only takes Hulk about 18 minutes to recover. After coming to this realization, Bruce Banner is battling depression that he is the last person alive, and he misses his friends, he misses his family, he misses just companionship at all. And in his old age, Bruce is now aware that his death is near. So he tries to end himself by throwing himself off a ledge, and Hulk won't let him do it. So in turn, he locks himself in a cave and just waits for it all to end. As he pleads with the Hulk to just let him die in peace, the Hulk refuses as he still has a lot to prove on being the strongest there is. And as Banner passes, the Hulk takes over, and the Hulk somberly sits outside of his cave, realizing that if he ever turns back into Banner, that he will die as well. And this story comes from Hulk the End. If you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After witnessing New York get overrun by demons, Peter takes a stroll outside just to find a little demon being picked on by a bigger shark demon. In this moment, Peter saves the little demon from the shark demon, and this little demon becomes obsessed with Spider-Man. While this is going on, Chasm is creating what is called the Insidious Six, which is just a stranger version than the Sinister Six. After showing up back home in a Spider-Man costume saying that he wants to be just like Peter Parker, the Insidious Six chase him out and tell him that he is a fool and that he is a villain, not a hero. After walking through the streets, he runs into another demon that wants to make his dreams come true. So it fuses his Spider-Man shirt with a symbiote, which creates a Spider-Man symbiote that allows him to live out his dreams and fight along Spider-Man to defeat the Insidious Six. As the years went on, this future Thanos kept getting stronger while everyone else got weaker, which in turn caused him to kill every single hero and villain until he was the only one remaining. But there was one hero that he kept alive, which was the Hulk, who he treats now as a pet, in which he feeds the remains of the other heroes and villains too. After Ghost Rider brings a younger version of Thanos to show him what his future looks like, the Silver Surfer arrives to put an end to this tyranny. As Silver Surfer arrives, Thanos releases the Hulk on him and they clash for a battle of a lifetime. You would think. The Silver Surfer grabs him by his neck, calms him down, and turns him back into Bruce Banner, just for young Thanos to distract both Silver Surfer and Bruce Banner, and future Thanos to come up from behind and stab through both of them with Surtur's sword, which in turn kills Bruce Banner and injures Silver Surfer, and then both future and young Thanos tag team till the Surfer is no longer breathing. Just when you think there's no one else to arrive, the Lady in Black shows up herself, ready for a wedding. Deadpool once got hired for $7 to kill a kid's nightmares. After Peter reaches out to Deadpool via letter saying that he's having trouble sleeping, Deadpool then shows up to Peter's house and asks him for the details on this. After making a deal, Deadpool then agrees to kill his nightmares, which leads him to break into the Sanctum Sanctorum and steal the Eye of Agamotto. After breaking into the Sanctum, Wade then gets his hands on the Eye of Agamotto just for Wong to show up and try to stop him. Wade then realizes while wearing the Eye of Agamotto, all he has to do is knock himself out to get to the Dream Realm, in which he just jumps out the window to do this, knowing that he's not going to die. After arriving into the Dream Realm, he runs into Nightmare, who refuses to help him find Peter's dreams. After attacking him and Wade defeating all of the things that he throws at him and just being relatively annoying to Nightmare, he then agrees to help. After showing him Peter's nightmares, he notices that the gnome in his nightmares has the face of his babysitter. Deadpool then rips off the Eye of Agamotto and runs to Peter's house, in which he beats up the babysitter and gets him arrested. Deadpool looks Peter in the face and says, "Son, you still owe me $7. Gwenpool is extremely overpowered, and I mean she might even be more powerful than Deadpool. Being a real girl who was transported into the comic book space, she is fully aware of the fact that she is in a comic book, and she takes full advantage of it. From erasing dialogue, from jumping from panel to panel, and even at times exiting the comic entirely. As well as changing the villains when she doesn't like what the villain is doing or wants a more romantic storyline instead of this power chase or this big battle. Or will just add things to the story to spice it up. Like one time she just summoned an entire army of boy pools, and even goes back and forth with Deadpool himself often, in which she most of the time comes out on top. But she's also aware that all of these changes can be short-lived and the editors have the final say. And if you like more Marvel breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe. What if Donald Duck became Thor? After bringing Huey, Dewey, and Louie on an archaeological hike in Scandinavia to earn their junior woodchuck badges, Donald Duck injures his foot. As he wanders off the beaten path, he sees the stone ducks from Saturn arriving. As they're firing around and destroying all the rocks, they see Donald Duck and chase him off into a cave, in which he finds a walking stick, in which he picks up this walking stick and hits it against a rock. Just then, this walking stick turns into Mjolnir, giving Donald Duck the power of Thor. After using Mjolnir to defeat the stone ducks from Saturn, him and the boys get back in the car as he tells this story to Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who don't believe this story in the slightest. After Thor becomes unworthy, he is unable to lift Mjolnir. After trying for what seems like eternity, he decides to give up and leave Mjolnir behind, as Mjolnir follows him around, almost taunting him. And after a while, Thor punches Mjolnir, just as the Thunderer arrives to pitch him the idea of becoming the new Iron Fist, in which he explains the vessel of the Iron Fist is not currently held. So Thor begins training under the guise of the Thunderer, punching Mjolnir over and over again until his hands are bloody. But after a few days, Thor's fists are like hammers, and he faces off with Mjolnir, in which Mjolnir tries to run away, but Thor will not have it, and they clash in an epic battle of the gods, in which Thor defeats Mjolnir, in which the Thunderer explains it's not enough to beat Mjolnir to become the new Iron Fist, he must defeat me, and the Thunderer strikes him. After Thor hits the Thunderer with the hardest punch he's ever felt, he agrees to lead him to the Iron Fist. As they arrive in the temple, the Thunderer admits that he never planned on training him to be the new Iron Fist or to train him with any other weapons besides the ones that he had from day one, and names him the new God of Fists. After finding the Ancient One guarding the Destroyer armor, Maestro decides that he wants this armor for himself. The Ancient One warns Maestro about the ties to the Wishing Wells in Battleworld, which will notify God Emperor Doom if anyone comes near it. Ignoring all that advice, Maestro seizes this opportunity to put on the Destroyer armor, just as God Emperor Doom arrives, in which they immediately get into a massive battle for who will be the King of Battleworld. After what seems like an eternity of battling, Maestro in the Destroyer suit comes out victorious and claims to be the new god of Battleworld. However, it is then revealed that the Destroyer suit was enchanted to grant the wishes of whoever comes near it, all inside their mind. So everything we just witnessed was taking place inside of Maestro's mind. As he turns back into Bruce Banner, it is then revealed that this only wears off once the enchanted person has died, leaving Bruce Banner to live out his fantasies inside of his mind until he passes away. After Null attacks Earth with symbiote-covered sentinels, all of our heroes get covered by symbiotes one by one, as Null's on the hunt for a boy named Dylan, who he finally sees through the eyes of Captain America. But just in the nick of time, Thor saves Dylan from being consumed by Null. Null and Dylan fight back one by one to free most of their friends, but Null, seeing this as his one and only opportunity to capture Dylan, shows up himself to take down the God of Thunder. Thor and Null go back and forth, swinging and beating each other. After breaking the jaw of Null, Thor thinks that he has this battle won. As he turns away, he sees Dylan get consumed by symbiotes in the distance, just to realize Null isn't dead, and he stabs Thor through the heart, leaving him for dead. This story comes from 2020's King in Black, issue 3. Let me know in the comments which characters you'd like to see more of on this channel. And if you like more Marvel stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. After returning home, Logan finds his entire family slaughtered by Bruce Banner. After going on a rampage and killing Bruce Banner's inbred family, he finally confronts Bruce Banner. And they get into a massive brawl where Logan is just going at Bruce Banner, and he doesn't even transform until he stabs him through the stomach. And exactly in this moment, Bruce turns into the Hulk, and the Hulk eats Wolverine alive. Later on, Hulk begins to experience the stomach issues and stomach pains that are unbearing, not knowing that Logan has regenerated and is tearing his way out of the Hulk as he kills him slowly and painfully to end the Hulk forever. And if you like more Marvel and DC stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. There's one character in Marvel Comics that has the highest win percentage against the Hulk, and that character is Spider-Woman. Because of her ability to emit pheromones that cause men to be attracted to her, this is also the same thing that calms down the Hulk. She even stopped him mid-fight one time and had him make her a sandwich. Although this works in her favor for most men in the Marvel Comics, it has the exact opposite reaction for females in the universe, causing her to be enemy number 1 for all of the females in the Marvel Universe. Who is Jeff the Land Shark? After playing Marvel Rivals, you're probably curious who this cuddly creature is. Jeff is a species of land sharks that was created by MODOK, who was going by Brodok at the time. After the West Coast Avengers defeated all of the land sharks, Gwenpool found a baby land shark and named him Jeff and promised to take care of him. From that day forward, they were inseparable and going on all kinds of adventures. And Jeff has teamed up with Deadpool, the Enchantress, Elsa Bloodstone, Spider-Man, and many, many more. But you'll find him mostly in the Gwenpool comics. He did also once get venomized as well in an adorable story where he tries to escape venom, but that's a story for another time. After being captured by Coyote, Spot's powers were artificially controlled in order to carry out some absolutely horrific crimes, including capturing and decapitating people, turning Daredevil into just a head, and putting wormholes on pregnant women's bellies in order to use them as drug mules. And you can see here this woman being truly uncomfortable as a man reaches through her stomach to grab drugs. Eventually, Spot is freed by Daredevil and they team up to take down Coyote, finally bringing this reign of horror to an end. When Miles Morales is accused of killing Captain America before it even happens, the tension in this moment is at its max, as Captain Marvel becomes obsessed with preventing future crime, and she's ready to go guns blazing to make this happen. Miles then has a nervous breakdown and even almost considers removing his mask in order to help prevent this from happening. Just then, Captain America comes over and consults Miles, telling him whatever he wants to do, he should do. And Miles just says, "I want to go home," and Cap just lets him. But this infuriates Captain Marvel, who wants to arrest him for a future crime that he hasn't even committed yet. And this is when Black Panther steps in and says, "If you want to chase after Miles, you're going to have to go through me." Ultimately saying, if you go after him, you're waging war on Wakanda, and that will not end well for you.